I guess we want to start things off with a welcome back because we haven't done this in person for the last 2 years. So, hey, for those of you who have done the internship for the first time, it's actually a pretty exciting day for us because we're back, we're seeing each other's faces and each other's smiles, and we're really getting to really celebrate this accomplishment that you guys had this summer.
Yes. We know it was not an easy feat, even just to become an intern, so we want to start off with congratulations for making it. And then, yes, parents, you can applaud, even if you were surprised they made it. And then getting through the summer, because I know you guys all worked really, really hard. So, Steve and I have, so this is Steve Uehara, sorry.
Oh yeah, Steve Uehara, Liz Chun, yes, Director of Communications.
Sunrise,
Yeah.
anchor, up, he's going to stay up late tonight, didn't even nap, ready to be here. We're going to wake him up a couple of times.
Okay.
All right, but we're really happy to be here. We've been very fortunate to MC this event for many years, and every year we get older, and my attempt for us to stay cool gets harder and harder. But I've shied away from this year, trying to change it up, be trendy. Instead of going with some kind of PowerPoint, we used to do top 10 lists. I was trying to really reflect on what is cool, right?
Right, what is cool?
And we started talking about what?
What VIP passes.
Concerts.
Right? Concerts,
yeah.
right?
We're like, we should relate to them. There's
Bruno Mars, BTS, Taylor Swift,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Does this make sense?
Anything?
We did our research.
Are we talking to the parents still? Yeah, hopefully not. So then we started thinking about it. So we met in sports.
Yes.
And when we first started dating, when we got to know each other better, I was like, so what do you do with all your sports passes? And he's like, what? And I was like, don't you like keep them as souvenirs? And he's like, that's dorky. Who would do that? And then I was like, I've kept every single pass ever. I was like, it's so cool. And
okay, so what do you have?
Yeah, okay, so then Steve started collecting. I'm just going to show you Steve's collection. It started a little later. But I will tell you, we'll talk about VIP passes, right? So I have my Sony Open, tag signed,
great event.
USA Basketball,
Awesome.
Hoy Football, Old School with the Rainbow. I bet you John McNamara gave me this one, so thank you, John.
It's probably true.
Yeah, we have Brian Clay. Oh, when we played at USC, Pro Bowl. NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
I know.
Okay, so
recent
I got some
we got
recent
some
ones.
recent.
Okay, so Lakers basketball camp. Okay,
I mean, I did that one year.
Heisman Trophy ceremony in New York.
I missed that one.
And Super Bowl from last year. Super Bowl from last year.
So we're done with this stint now. Now we're just done because that creates controversy for us that he got to go. But, so why would I bring this up? Why the whole VIP pass? Well, because, Corey, cue it up. This year, you guys had a VIP pass to medicine. Think about it. You guys really did. Your badges got you to places that your parents are like, really? Wait, what? You went there? And just so you know, you can't go there again. We like you a lot, but those badges only work for the summer. So think about the fact that you guys got to go behind the scenes. Some of you have seen procedures I've never seen of or heard of. Some of you got to go to meetings and were a part of things as we were determining them, as we were creating them. So while it was just an ID to you, this was your VIP pass. And so many other people wish they had the opportunity. So I want to congratulate you for making the most of it. And it's almost Super Bowl worthy. This is Super Bowl worthy. Come on.
It's probably even better when you think about it.
Think about it.
By the way,
congratulations.
this was a long way to go, and it was a long setup, but I think we landed it. I hope we hit home. But again, congratulations. You should feel this great sense of accomplishment. It really is awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so just a few things that we want to say about the internship, or we want to hear your words about the internship. So we'd like to invite you to go to social media, Twitter and Instagram, #HPH Summer Internship, okay? HPH Summer Internship. Also, we're live streaming on YouTube. How do you do?
Yay, thank you.
So once the live stream is finished, you can go to our page and you can watch the video there.
Yeah. And we're going to start this off with the right person. His VIP, all access, all the time, just so you know, whether he has the ID on or not. So let's just introduce Ray Vera, President and CEO of Hawaii Pacific Health.
All right, thanks, Steve and Liz. And I promise you, I won't try to be cool. I gave up on that a long time ago. But I do actually want to, before I get into sort of sharing a few things, I do want to touch on this VIP pass. I didn't know their routine. I didn't know what they were going to do. But frankly, that couldn't be better said, because just to put it in perspective, and some of you, the students in particular, may have heard this before, but I'm quite certain the parents haven't. We had over 1,000 applicants for the internship this year. And in this year's cohort, this year's class, we had 71. And so it's a pretty select group of students that were selected. And as you know, they had to go through the process of, which I think is pretty rigorous, of applying and interviewing and expressing why they wanted to do this, what their interest in healthcare was, and why they would be the right selection. And so, I want you to give yourself a round of applause for being selected as a VIP. So I can't help when I'm behind a microphone to at least share a little bit about Hawaii Pacific Health and why we do this. And I have to tell you, the students, the interns have heard me say this before, but for the families and even for our own leadership and the preceptors in the room, you need to know, when we think about the breadth of our mission and the work that we do, and that mission is in words pretty simple. It's to create a healthier Hawaii, but it's much broader in terms of the way we bring that to life in our community. And I can tell you, as I think about that in the long view, through a long lens, about the impact that we make and our ability to serve that mission, there is no greater investment that we could make than spending time with these interns, bringing them into the organization, giving them a feel for what healthcare is all about, and at least giving them a taste of what a career in health could look like. Because as we think about what it's going to take to achieve that mission, it's not something, while today the work that we do and the impact that we make, what goes on at the bedside or in the emergency room or in the operating room, makes a difference towards that end for sure. The real value of that mission is going to be the impact that we make over the next 1, 2, 10, 5, 10 years in terms of truly changing the health of the population. And for you to understand what that means to us, we know that the care that we provide within the walls of our facilities changes people's lives on a daily basis. And it's one of the things that allows me to get up and do the work that I do. And I think for most of the people that you all met during this summer, that's exactly why they get up and do what they do. But the reality of it is we recognize that that only represents a fraction of the health of our community. Because if we're really going to change the health of this community and get to the point to where an empty hospital bed is more valuable to us than an occupied hospital bed, it's because we've been able to not only care with them within the walls of our facilities, but also address the social economic factors that really drive health upstream. Okay, things like addressing early childhood development, K through 12 education, post-high school education, affordable housing, homelessness, food insecurities, those things that quite frankly are the drivers that distract all of us as individuals when we're experiencing those things from truly living our healthiest life. And when we do that on a sustained basis, that's what causes the things that frankly we care for today. And so when we think about the breadth of our mission, it's much broader than what we do on a daily basis. Well, that is critically important, and it should be celebrated each and every day. The reality of it is our wildest successes will be seen 1, 2, 3, 5 years down the line through the impact that we're making in our community to change the reality of what the health of this population looks like. Okay, and so you need to understand that when we're talking about creating a healthier Hawaii, that's the lens that we view it for. And when we bring interns in like this, when we bring folks in and give them the opportunity to experience what a day in the life of healthcare looks like and be part of serving that mission, because the second you put on this badge, I promise you, people don't know the difference. They don't know that you're an intern. They don't know what you're doing. What they see is you're a representative of stewarding over that mission. And it's something that we take seriously. It's something that I think we insist that they took serious this summer. And it's something that we celebrate when we see the impact that they're making through learning that experience, soaking it all up, being an extra set of hands, running things around, doing whatever the call to action was. And I will tell you, to the parents, it's something that you would have been extremely proud of to see the way that they served that mission during their time with Hawaii Pacific Health. So as I begin to wrap up, some thank yous. First of all, something like this doesn't happen overnight. This is something that we start planning for literally right at the turn of the year. We start identifying where the opportunities are, where the departments are, what the experience is going to look like, how we're going to go about selecting the right students for the right location. We go through the application process, and frankly, it's not so that we select just the right intern. That's a component of it, but it's also so that we make sure that they have that experience. That's part of the internship before it ever gets started. That's the part you don't get paid for, okay? You get paid when you show up after you're selected, but I promise you that's just as important as part of the learning process. And so that doesn't happen without a tremendous amount of work from within the leadership of Hawaii Pacific Health in making sure that that process goes right, and then overseeing the experience and connecting with the interns during the course of that time. So I know we've got some of the preceptors in the room, folks who are at the tip of the spear of that, and so I want to thank you all. So can we give them a round of applause? Next, I want to thank the parents. Because look, you lend us your son and your daughter, and you entrust us with them, and frankly, that's probably not something easy to do at any given time, because look, I'm a father of 5 children, and I know that during the summers when they weren't in school, there were other things I'd rather have them do. I'd rather have them running errands, maybe working in the lawn, helping their mom out, or even maybe going to summer school. But you made a choice. You supported them in pursuing this endeavor, and so we want to thank you for your commitment and your support and entrusting us with them for the summer. And then lastly, I want to thank our interns, because you also could have chosen to do something else. You could have spent your time differently. You could have spent your time with a different organization, and you chose to be with us. And everything that I saw as I watched and I experienced and I received reports and I got updates on the work that you were doing, I'm here to tell you, you made an impact in the lives of people around this community through the work that you've done serving our mission of creating a healthier Hawaii. And so I want to thank you for making that choice. But I also want everybody in the room to hear what I shared with you a couple of weeks ago, was that I'm not naive enough to believe that all of you are gonna go running out of this room and then start changing your class selections, and you're gonna start changing your thinking about that all of you all of a sudden want to be a doctor or a nurse or a therapist or in healthcare administration. I know that's not going to happen. We hope that it has given you a positive experience and exposure to what the profession of health looks like. We hope that's been enriching to you. But more so, we want it to be a part of what is a building life experience. Whether you go choose to work as a teacher, or you go to work as a banker, or you go to work in government, or whatever it is you choose to do, I promise you the experience and the things that you've been exposed to are gonna help round out your understanding of the role that healthcare plays in our community. And all I wish for you, and to the parents, all that I wish for your sons and your daughters, is that this experience really is enriching to them, and it's one that gives them perspectives, and it's one that helps them find their passion where they're going to make their greatest impact as they go about pursuing that education and pursuing that career. Because if we've contributed to that, regardless of whether you come to work in healthcare or you come to work for Hawaii Pacific Health, I will tell you it has served as a positive impact against our mission. It's served as a positive impact in terms of the way every one of us have the ability for touching our community in any one of those things that I talked about before, even if it's not at the bedside or in the clinic or within the walls of our facilities. And so I hope that this experience has done that. And then lastly, I often think that this is one of the greatest pieces of what you gain through this is you've got to meet people from all over the island. You got to meet people from different schools, people that you may not have otherwise had a chance to. And I have sat and I've watched friendships develop that are lifelong friendships. I sat and watched, it's actually really interesting. I watched a couple of young ladies, one named Mia and one named Maya, go through this internship. And they were here, and for whatever reason, they became the closest of friends from different walks of life, different schools, different experiences up to that point. They became very good friends, and then they left, and I'm sure they, exchanged cell phone numbers, and we're keeping in touch that way. Well, then lo and behold, 2 semesters from that, they both ended up studying abroad in the same location. I forget exactly where, but somewhere in Europe. And then after that, they both went back to their schools, finished their degrees, and through that relationship that they built, they decided to go do a research project together at Vanderbilt in Tennessee. And they spent the next 2 years working on a research project as they were applying for medical school and waiting for those acceptance letters. But it started here. It started with 2 young ladies who didn't know each other existed before they walked in here, and their paths crossed, they became friends, and I promise you, they're going to be best friends for life. So if you're able to take that experience and develop those kinds of relationships and sustain that connectivity, I promise you, it'll make this summer even that much more worthwhile. And so to the students and interns, I want to thank you for spending the time. Thank you for being a part of the fabric of Hawaii Pacific Health. And I can tell you, as much as I say I hope this enriched you, I can tell you it enriched us. And so thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of the evening. Aloha.
I don't know, Ray, I think that was pretty darn cool. Good job, good job.
But yes, absolutely. We hope that you take as much out of it as we received. And this is very hands-on. There's a lot that they do in this internship. And the best bird's eye view we can get of it is kind of this next section and where we're going to lead you, because we actually have a select number of the interns share their experience. And just so you know, we don't censor this, so they just go with it. But their perspective is fresh, their energy is great, and we really want to hear from all of you. So they will represent all of you, all 71 of you. And go ahead.
Yeah, we'll start. And this is the great part is we really get to talk, hear what Ray was talking about and how the students themselves were impacted. So we're going to start with the HPH Shared Services. James Keitlinger from Clinical Education.
Yep. And James, his high school is Richmond High School, and college was Chaminade University.
His favorite food from the cafeteria, coffee, 2 cream, 2 sugar. Very specific here.
I like that. And then if he had to create a hashtag to describe his internship, he wants you to know it's hashtag men can be nurses too.
Yeah. And his favorite scrubs were the BTS scrubs.
Oh, see? I told you that coolness card comes. No, it didn't.
Especially when you do that after it.
Sorry. All right, it's all you. And we can give a round of applause, everyone.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is James Keitlinger. For the past 6 weeks, I've been interning at Kapiolani Medical Center within the Clinical Education Department. During that time, I've had the opportunity to shadow multiple units and see firsthand how the systems behind the scenes enable the operations of the entire hospital. I've also had the chance of working on administrative projects, like working with Glenda Ka'alekea, the Director of Professional Development, in reformatting training presentations for the Nurse Aid Training Program across select high schools within the community. I've also got the chance to work alongside Karen Krimble, who's the coordinator for the Safe Patient Handling Program, where we restructured checklists for that program across all 4 hospitals within Hawaii Pacific Health Systems. Alongside Larisa Gamponia Ramos and Christy Sakai within clinical education, I also had the opportunity to assist in providing in-service training to over 100 healthcare professionals during the implementation phase of newly acquired bedside monitors. I also had the opportunity to provide training for basic life support to multiple healthcare professionals at Kapiolani, resulting in their continued certification. I also had the pleasure of sitting in on training classes at clinical education, things like echocardiograms, resuscitations, advanced cardiac life support, clinical simulations, etc. And you know, there's really a lot of amazing people at Hawaii Pacific Health who gave me the chance to learn and grow from them. People like Craig, an imaging technician who's been an imaging technician for over 20 years. Whitney, a prior firefighter medic turned ER tech, who claims Kapiolani as an extended family. Gil, a father of 3 who's been at plant operations for over a decade, along with Arlene, a prior ICU nurse who's been with HPH for over a decade, and Lacey, an aspiring oncologist within cardiac services. Also Shannon, a father of 4 who commutes all the way from Waianae to Polimomi because he says he loves the people at Polimomi that much. Also Auntie Becky, she's an amazing person, a recent grandmother of a 2-year-old who she claims is her world, and an all-around amazing human being. The entire HR department, and really so many others. I've also met interns throughout this internship who will no doubt go on to do great things. People like Naomi, Reese, Jake, Dylan, Nikki, Kamale, who are aspiring doctors, physicians, nurses, or working towards some other career within the healthcare sector. I've gotten the chance to see many remarkable medical procedures take place within this internship as well. Things like endoscopies, resuscitations, intubations, echocardiograms, midline placements, wound packing, and even more. But really, the thing that wowed me the most about Hawaii Pacific Health and Polimomi was the culture. Things like this, where they enable people to come together and make these meaningful connections. This internship has reinforced the teaching that it's people within the hospital that make the difference. Policies, procedures, quality improvement initiatives, and fancy equipment, yes, those make a difference as well, but really without the amazing people behind them, those things would not matter. This internship is a great program. It's fantastic, it's been an amazing time. Many of you know that I'm working towards a second career in nursing. And this internship has given me a more in-depth understanding of the interdepartmental functions within the hospital and the experience of seeing these remarkable medical procedures play out firsthand. But really, what I'm taking from this is the connections I've made with the phenomenal people at Hawaii Pacific Health and Polimomi that will help me on my path towards nursing and enable me to grow and learn well into the future. Thank you.
Well done, Jim.
Yes, you can cheer for his interns. Let's hear it. I know you got a little more. I know you got it. James, I like that because when you personalize those names and you speak of it, then we know that you really owned it in your heart. So thank you for starting us off that way. Next, we have our HPH Medical Group Intern Reflection, and that's by Alison Kuana, and she was covering pediatrics.
Yep, Alison went to Mid-Pacific Institute, class of 2018. Also goes to college at the University of San Francisco. Actually just graduated in May. Okay.
Congratulations. And favorite food in the cafeteria, she said, oh, no, sorry, bring my home lunch. Good way to save your money. I like where you're going with that.
And if she had to do a hashtag to describe her internship, she said, hashtag motivation.
Yes. And best scrubs, she said there are a lot of figs. Okay, I'm not figs.
That must be the thing. There are a lot of figs. There are a lot of figs. Okay.
But she said she wants a pair. So when she comes up, we'll let her tell you what was her favorite home lunch this year, and then she'll start with her reflection. Thank you. Let's hear it.
Hello, I don't have a favorite home lunch.
Okay.
I'll have to say maybe my mom's cooking.
I was
No, I'm
gonna
joking.
say,
Okay, hi everyone. If I haven't had the chance to meet you, I'm Allie. I was one of the interns in pediatric administration, so I worked under Lisa Muranaka and Mele Wallawander. I was also really lucky though because I had 2 fellow interns, Kanoi and Alex, who have filled the last 6 weeks with lots of memories and laughter, and even though we didn't always see each other every day, we always made sure to get lunch when we could or catch up over text at the end of the workday. But throughout my 6 weeks, I spent half of my time shadowing in the different subspecialties, and then the other half of my time on the 7th floor with Mele, working in JABSOM. So that was a really nice opportunity. As everyone at Kapiolani has heard me talk about time and time again, having the opportunity to shadow Dr. Candy George was a really memorable experience that changed my outlook on medicine. She had so much empathy, not only for her patients, but for her patients' parents, her nurses, her fellow physicians, and everyone else who was part of that care team. I remember asking her why she chose to work at Kapiolani, because she grew up in Trinidad and Tobago and she went to school in London, and she said that it was the security guards that really made her understand that Hawaii was where she needed to be. And it was having the security guards tell her good morning and good evening and remembering her name every day. And that was the moment that she was like, this is home, this is where I need to be. And this really made me kind of just sit in awe at this person. But that wasn't it. In the short time that I shadowed her, all before lunch, we had 5 births, and we were running around the place, and every time her pager would go off, she'd be running. She's like, come on, baby, follow me. And we were like walking through the hospital and trying to catch these babies before they're out. And like the few times that we had to just sit down and relax, she shared a little bit about her life with me, about growing up with a single mom in Trinidad and Tobago and some of the financial hardships that she faced. And for the first time, I felt like I could really relate to somebody in medicine. And whether Dr. George knows it or not, meeting her was kind of the reminder that I needed about my why in medicine, and the motivation that I really needed in this very transitional part of my life. And despite the obstacles that she's faced, she's still become this amazing, humble, sweet, kind, down-to-earth human, and I hope to be like her one day. But overall, my experience in this internship has really prepared me to be an applicant for JABSUM next cycle. Not only have I been doing a lot of reflective thinking, but I've also been able to learn more about JABSUM and what medical school entails. I talked about the curriculum and the community at JABSUM with the faculty members and the medical students and the residents. And I learned so much more than I would have if I had just stayed home and Googled all of that. So I got the inside scoop. But this experience really made me fall in love with the JABSUM culture, and I know that that's where I want to be next year. To end, I know I'm going to miss our conversations and our lunches with Dr. Nakamura and making TikToks with Dr. Vala. We got over 47,000 views, by the way. But as Lisa reminds me, throughout our time together, I learned to appreciate every moment. I know that I'll be a better physician because of this experience, and whether my fellow interns choose a career in medicine or not, I look forward to seeing what we can do together to make Hawaii a bit better for the next generation. Thank you.
Thank you, Alison. And I know Dr. George, she is a power woman and power walker. And just so we clarify, that's not literally catch the baby. Well, maybe, I don't know. But, okay, just checking. All right, disclaimer.
You weren't in pediatrics. That might be how it works.
I just want to make sure to throw a disclaimer out there.
And the great part about it is looking ahead a couple of years from now when Alison is in full speed and doing her thing and making an impact and imparting that on the next generation, it's going to be awesome to watch. So awesome. Okay, so next up, we have the Kapiolani intern reflection. We have Ilana Ingwers from Child Life Services.
Yes, and her high school, yeah, Ilana, I got to work with her too. Kaiser High School, class of 2022, so very recent graduate, and she will be attending the Ola Marymount University.
Favorite food from the cafeteria, gelato.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
All right, and hashtag to describe her internship. All right, hashtag memories worth scrapbooking. Here we go.
And
all right.
Best scrubs. Hello Kitty and Friends Pig Scrubs.
Yeah, makes sense. She was at Kapiolani. She was with the kids. All right, next up we have
Ilana.
Oh, I thought my legs were gonna give out. Oh, my heart's racing. Heart Walk is coming up, if you didn't know. Sign up for it. Hi everyone, happy Aloha Friday. My name is Ilana, but to the pediatric patients, I tell them my name's a cross between Anna and Elsa. Do you wanna build a snowman? I'm an intern at Kapiolani in Child Life Services, which is a department dedicated to helping patients find a sense of normalcy and comfort in an otherwise unfamiliar and sometimes scary environment. It's comprised of 3 pillars: the classroom, the playroom, and integrated services, which includes healing touch, Reiki, massage, and aromatherapy. I've gotten to help supervise the playroom with Jules, my fellow child life intern, hello, and observe lessons in the classroom, shadow our integrated services specialists in different units, including the NICU and the Cancer Center. I also get to deliver toys to the patient floors, like Santa, but in July. Even after 6 weeks, I still can't figure out where to take to deliver the toys to the emergency department. So if there's ever an emergency, I am not your person. Don't call me. I was able to shadow in the neonatal intensive care unit and actually got to meet the nurse who took care of me for 3 months when I was a premature baby in the NICU. You might be surprised. Thank you. You might be surprised to hear that she, for some reason, did not recognize me 18 years later. Shocking, I know. It was a really special wow moment that really brought it full circle. I was previously an intern at Straub on the resource team last year. So I was initially a bit hesitant to apply for a second year in a row. Lance, is that you? Guys, that's my boss from last year. I was hesitant to apply for the second year in a row in fear that it would be redundant, but it couldn't be farther from that. I can't say I preferred one facility over the other because both were so unique and valuable to me. Straub was the perfect place for me to figure out what part of healthcare I could see myself having a career in. I got to shadow a different department practically every day, which is especially amazing for someone who's looking forward to working in a clinical care area. Kapiolani is wonderful for those who want to be fully immersed in the department they are placed in and learn about caring for Hawaii's families and children. This internship really put things into perspective for me and my future. Being at Kapiolani in pediatrics was a completely different experience from the demographic of patients at Straub. I went into the internship last year thinking I wanted to become a registered dietitian because I love food. And I left the internship knowing I couldn't see myself in that career, which was quite scary because I was about to apply for college. So I didn't quite feel like I had found my dream career in any of the departments I had shadowed in. Yet I was so thankful that I found that out before applying to college because I would have applied to colleges solely based on the fact that I wanted to go into nutrition, which is not a major easily to find in small colleges, so I would be in a very different place than where I am now. At school, I speak to the underclassmen in the College and Career Center about this internship, and I try to convince them to apply, or just to reassure them that it's okay to change your path or change what you thought you wanted to go into. Going into this year's internship at Kapiolani, I was placed in a department I never heard of, and I ended up loving it, which was a pleasant surprise. No wonder a few of the staff in my department work there now. They were also interns in child life, so if you see me there in a few years, you know why. I can totally see myself returning to Hawaii Pacific Health to work in child life or marketing. Hello. Loved it. They do great work down there and in philanthropy as well. And it was really the best possible outcome I could hope for my summer. Like the stars aligned and the clouds parted, and that's why it hasn't rained today if you didn't notice. That was me. I'm not exaggerating when I say I will talk about this internship until I'm old and gray. Although I'll stop talking in a couple minutes because I think you want to go home soon. It's such a special program that has grown so dear to me, and I won't stop recommending it. I don't know where a high school student would be eligible and able to find an opportunity like this in the healthcare industry. And I know how much effort the workforce development team and everybody here at Hawaii Pacific Health puts into this, even the behind the scenes work that we don't know about. Thank thank you for making this happen every summer. I hope you continue to do this program. And I really, really appreciate all of your hard work. Thank you to everyone who's been so kind to me and patient when I don't know what you're talking about because I just graduated high school. And thank you for putting me in my dream department that I had no idea existed 6 weeks ago. Congratulations to all of the interns. Thank you to our managers and our families. And for my fellow interns, I hope you know how bright you are and don't forget that wherever you decide to go. Thank you.
Well done, well done.
I don't know, I think that's it, like hashtag nailed it.
Hashtag Santa in July.
Yeah.
That was-
Yeah. And the marketing plug, well done, Claire, trained her well. I will say that is one kink in the VIP access, a lot of elevators, so sorry about that one. It's a little too much, but it's all good. All right, next up we have the Polymomi Intern Reflection, and that will be by Kristen Miyamoto, who is with
Kristen.
Ambulant. Yes, Kristen. Did I say
Kristen.
that?
Kristen Miyamoto. Yeah.
Kristen. Sorry,
Kristen.
Kristen. All right, got it. The fifth time. Miyamoto with ambulatory
It
surgery.
would be on her VIP badge.
Yes,
It would be
yes,
Kristen
got
Miyamoto. Kristen is a 2022 graduate of Moano High School, and she will be attending the University of Hawaii at Manoa.
Woohoo! And she was one that visited the cafeteria, and it was chicken curry that was to her liking.
Yep. Hashtag to describe internship would be hashtag girls in STEM.
Best scrubs, she said OR scrubs. Wait, they let you wear the OR scrubs? Wait, all right, okay. It's legit. All right, Kristen.
I was
checking.
Okay.
Kristen, come on up.
Hi, my name is Kristen Miyamoto, and I was a summer intern at Polymomi and Ambulatory Services. Ambulatory Services mainly deals with the pre-operations before patients go into the OR or for gastrointestinal operations. One of the main things that I loved about this internship was I got to meet people from all over the island and people going to college, high school students. And one of the people that really sticks out in my mind is my best friend from ACS, or Ambulatory Services, Naomi, right over there. And she was very interested in gastroenterology. Throughout the internship, you really get the lingo of the medical staff. You pretty much learn a new language. So when she expressed her interest in gastroenterology after looking at the endoscopy, the colonoscopies, the staff replied, "Oh, you want to be a poop doctor?" So we really got integrated into the culture of HPH, and I'm so grateful for all the staff. That was really nice and comforting while we looked at them, go around with patients. My experience in this internship has shown me how a patient moves through the hospital, all through the different workers and departments that requires for the hospital to work properly. From the receptionists to the nurses to the doctors and technologists, there's so many parts that work behind the scenes for the hospital to function properly. Each person knows their role well, and as a result, patients can be saved and can go home. I would say that all of my experiences following each department and worker in the hospital has been a valuable one, because now I understand how each role fits with each other like a perfect cog in the machine. When I got the opportunity to follow a family medicine doctor, Dr. Hickson at Polymomi, I knew who was taking the x-rays that the doctor ordered. I knew the nurses that would move the patient from ambulance services to the OR. And my wow moment was when I shadowed this doctor near the end of the program and was able to see how all the different departments perfectly coexist in the grand scheme of things for the patient to receive care. So many cogs have to turn behind the scenes for the doctor and patient to meet, and for the patient to finally receive treatment. This experience helped me in my career path to becoming a doctor by giving me a broad perspective of how the entire hospital operates. By understanding the system in which I will eventually be operating in, I will become a more aware and understanding physician. I would like to thank all the staff members for showing me around when I looked lost, trying to open the doors, I didn't know how, and generally they're very, very nice in showing me how the whole hospital operated. And through these people, I saw that behind all of the fancy names, technologists, nuclear medicine technologists, and all these degrees, that the people in HPH truly make the hospital run and operate to give the patients quality of care. The patients don't remember exactly the name on your badge or the fancy degree that you have, but they do remember how they felt when they're receiving care. And that is what I will take with me in my future. I'd like to thank HPH for putting this program together, because it does take a lot of work and effort behind the scenes for high school students and college students to receive this early intervention to their medical journey, seeing how and what they really want to do in the future. So thank you for inspiring me and all these young aspiring health professionals for their future, and thank you very much. That's all I have.
Okay, a round of applause for Kristen. Great job by Kristen. I like what Kristen had to say.
Okay, yeah, we get the point.
Give
We
it
get the point.
give it a K, give it an R.
There we go.
You know what
Kristen,
it is? Yeah, I know.
okay.
But you're the first Kristen. I will never forget you. You're the first Kristen in my life with a Y-N. So, Kristen.
Okay, so next up, rounding us out, we have the Straub intern reflection, and giving us that, we have Bradson Sarikawa from the Neuroprogressive Care Unit.
Yes. And Bradson, yeah, I got that. Yeah, okay, just checking. Is a 2018 graduate from Honolulu High School and attends the University of Portland.
There you go. Also, favorite food from the cafeteria? Lemon chicken.
You're speaking Steve's language, food. Hashtag to describe his internship, hashtag rewarding.
And his favorite scrubs? Breast cancer awareness scrubs.
Okay.
Here we go, Bradson.
So actually, the lemon chicken was the only item in the food court that I actually got to try. So there wasn't really any other option for me. But anyways, I'm Bradson Sarikawa. I was an intern at Straub, and I was working in the Progressive Care Unit with my lovely nurse manager, Annie Galanto, along with, oh yeah, round of applause. No, she was amazing. But I worked along with a lot of the nurses, such as some of the ones that really stood out were Yan, Kavai, there was Crystal, Kelsey. All of them really just helped me to branch out more, because I'm sure that many of us might think that it's really intimidating, right, when we're going to all those different floors and we don't know any of the staff. So just the fact that some of the nurses are actually, a lot of the staff just come up and approach you and introduce themselves, that really helped me to feel like I fit in and I was a part of the team. But let me get back on track. So throughout this internship, I had the opportunity to shadow and interact with many, various members of the healthcare team. And I got to see all of the different departments, and ranging from CAs to RNs to physicians. And on top of this, I actually got to work side by side with a lot of the nurses, right, when we were working on our projects. So for the Neuroprogressive Care Unit, I got to work alongside many of them while we were trying to develop a plan for addressing stroke patients and fall risk patients. So taking a second to think about my wow moment, I would have to say that there are a couple that come to mind. The first one was actually when I was following one of the CAs on our floor named Bobby, so shout out to Bobby. But there was this one instance where there was a patient that came in, and I remember they were screaming and yelling, and they just wouldn't stop. And then the more and more the staff tried to talk to them and calm them down, the more agitated they became. But after everything kind of settled and the patient was admitted into their rooms, I remember Bobby entered. And I remember watching him and observing him, and I don't know how he did this, but he was just able to really connect with the patients on a different level, and he just had this certain way to him where he was immediately able to just calm them down, and that was something where that just completely took me aback. And not only just with that patient, but every patient that I saw him interact with, he was always able to just relate to them in some way, whether it was his demeanor or just the way that he talked. He always was able to relate, calm them down, and comfort them. And especially given that in the future I hope to become a physician someday, I hope to be able to emulate this in down the road. And this internship has definitely taught me a lot of different things. And one of the main things is, as some of my fellow interns have mentioned, is actually that it's taught me what really goes on behind the scenes, right? Like how much actually goes on for all of the with all of the staff and everything that they do in order to make the hospital run smoothly. And I know that most of us have participated in that Friday night in the ER activity, right? And yeah, we can all relate. So in that activity, right, we just got a brief glimpse of what it might look like to manage or to run a hospital. And even with that, I was like confused, overwhelmed, stressed, you name it. But just from that experience alone, I knew that I'm like, I can't imagine what this would be like to actually do this in real life. So you really gain a greater appreciation and understanding, right, for everything that the staff does. And it really just makes you think that, wow, this is a really special place. So, as I said, my ultimate goal is to become a physician someday, hopefully here in the state of Hawaii. And I definitely think that this program has helped to reinforce my desire for wanting to help people. And especially by just getting to interact with all these healthcare members on a day-to-day basis, we really get to see that the way that they treat patients and the way that the impact that they can really have, right, on patients' health and their well-being. And that's just something that I really want to be a part of someday. So before I end this, because I know that, I'm the last one, so we'll try to make this quick. But I just would like to say a special thank you to everyone in this internship, all my fellow interns, and actually a lot of us got so close that we would even go out and get lunch all the time and then just be sitting at the tables talking, and then it kind of just became sort of a routine thing. So I really appreciate the relationships that were built through this program. And I would like to say a special thank you to Annie, along with all the other nurses on the 4th floor, and I'm very appreciative and very grateful that I was able to be a part of this experience and a part of this team. Thank you.
Thank you, Bradson. We're going to finish so strong. We look forward to you coming back as Dr. Sarikawa. Yeah.
I mean, talk about impressive, right? Just the depth of the appreciation and the reflection, and just to hear what they've internalized. I mean, congratulations, and I know this is just a small part. All of you have done an amazing job. But again, congratulations and thank you to Bradson, Kristen, Ilana, Alison, and James. Thanks, guys. Well done. How about a round of applause for them?
In addition to the various workshops planned throughout the 6 weeks, the interns were also asked to complete Internship Insights. They were asked to answer 2 questions every other week to help them reflect on their experiences. They were also optional assignments to help further their learning, and tonight we are recognizing 5 interns who provided what we are calling the most valuable insights.
Yeah, so when we call your name, please come down or come up to the stage to receive your gift. And presenting, we have Carl Hinson, the Director of Workforce Development. And we're going to start our most valuable insights with HPH Shared Services intern Logan Yonemori, IT Desktop Systems. Logan said, quote, "This internship has made me realize just how big of an impact IT and technology in general have on healthcare industry today. There is always some kind of monitor or computer anywhere you go."
From the HPH Medical Group, Alex Ueoka, who is with Pediatrics. The quote is, "I have seen and had meaningful conversations with various individuals about insurance coverage issues, social work, school and community resources, accessibility, and so much more. Through these conversations, I have gained a much broader perspective of what healthcare truly means and how a doctor can serve their patients beyond the walls of their clinic or the hospital." Congratulations.
From Kapiolani, we have Keone Martin from Health Information Services. Keone says, quote, "Without completing this internship, I would have never known how much responsibility and efficiency it takes to work in health information services. For example, the birth of a child is such a special moment for a parent, and we get to be a part of that special moment by printing out the birth certificates for an average of 15 newborn babies a day.
And his parents really appreciate that. All right, for Palimomi's most valuable insight, unfortunately Casey Sumikawa could not be here for another engagement, but she was with the Women's Center, and she said, I was pleasantly surprised at how friendly and welcoming the staff are. Despite being incredibly busy, the doctors, nurses, techs, and other staff were always eager to help me learn and answer any questions I had. After interacting with so many passionate healthcare professionals, I know I would definitely like to work in the healthcare field as a physician.
Very cool. And last but not least, from Straub, Hannah Gang from the emergency room. Hannah says, it was so amazing to see and learn more about the teamwork that happens between all the healthcare workers, the nurses, the doctors, admissions team, radiologists, EKG techs, nurse aides, and numerous other staff all work together to keep patients safe and healthy.
Did they know that you guys had chosen those? Did they know that? Okay, so that was a surprise. No wonder. They looked at us like, what? Where do I go? It's me. I didn't realize it was a surprise. So congratulations to those 5 become MVPs for your most valuable insights. All right, here we go. So now is the time when we really kind of have our graduation ceremony, and and now we're going to have each of you come up from your areas, starting with the Hawaii Pacific Health Shared Services, Intern Recognition, and Carl, sorry, you're going to have to come back up. Carl, Director of Workforce Development, along with Sunshine Topping, Senior Vice President of Human Resources and Organizational Effectiveness.
Okay, I think they're getting all lined up.
They're getting all lined
Are you guys
up.
ready? Okay. We're going to start with Ariana Antaku from IT Desktop Systems.
Next, we have Milana Kamelan with Clinical Education.
Next up, Kendall Eugenio from Organizational Effectiveness.
Oh yes, we should encourage cheering. Want to hear you. This is good practice for the parents if you have a graduation coming up. So we expect big things. All right, next we have Dylan Hinson for Human Resources. Extra proud on that one. Feels so.
All right, next up, Nikki Katahara Tom from Clinical Education.
James Keitlinger, Clinical Education.
Celestity Kim from Marketing.
Marketing people are so loud.
Jake Mariani, Design and Construction. Yay, we know him too. Yay.
Jade Lynn Pang from the Gift Shop.
Kelly Wong, Safety and Security.
And Lynn Yonemori from IT Desktop Systems.
And that closes us out for shared services. Let's close it out strong.
And look, our next set is already lined up.
I know.
Look how prepared they are.
They're the
These
best
are awesome.
interns, the best interns ever. All right, at this time, we would like to welcome up, this is for the Hawaii Pacific Health Medical Group Intern Recognition, and joining Sunshine now is Dave Underreiner, Executive Vice President of Oahu Operations. All right, here we go.
Okay. We'll start with Kanoi Bonilla from Pediatrics.
And now we have Alison Kuana, Pediatrics.
Hana Su from Clinic Administration.
Well, welcome back again, Alex Uyoka, Pediatrics.
And Amanda Warren from Cardiology.
Okay, that closes it out for HPHMG. Moving along. Now we have the Kapiolani interns. Yeah, ready to go. Great job. Here we go. And presenting again will be Dave and Sunshine.
First up, Taylor Arakaki from Pediatric Intensive Care.
Next we have Shota Ferreira, who's with Food and Nutrition.
Sage Holcup from Imaging.
Taking her show on the road because she had us all laughing and enjoying her speech, we have Ilana Ingers, Child Life Services.
Matthew Kalua from Neonatal Intensive Care Units.
Keone Martin, Health Information Services.
Next up, Amber Nobriga from the Women's Center.
Kennedy Pereira, Physical Therapy.
Now we have Juliana Tabura from Child Life Services.
Let's hear it for Cassidy Trang, Family Birth Center.
And rounding us out, we have Daisen Yokoyama from Imaging.
We're going to switch some roles here now and welcome Gloria Brooks, Chief Operating Officer of Polimomi Medical Center, to join Dave here on stage for our gifts and certificates. And don't, we're pacing it, parents, because we want you to all have a moment here to capture everyone. Okay, here we go.
Okay, first up, Jasmine Doe, the resource team.
Mackensen Le Fuata for Environmental Services.
Taryn Kaneko from MedSurg.
Naomi Kobayashi from Ambulatory Surgery.
Sophia Lee from the emergency room.
My favorite. Oh yeah, give me a K, give me a. Okay, it is Kristen Miyamoto. Ambulatory surgery. Did I get it? Did I get it? Did I get it?
10 times a charm, babe. You got it. You nailed it.
I am so sorry, Kristen Strantz, if you're here. So sorry, but I got it.
Next up, we have Reese Shiraishi from Biomed Services. Oh wait.
You forgot Anson.
I forgot Anson.
Okay. You.
Oh my gosh, I messed up. Okay, wait.
Anson's here.
Anson,
Anson's
okay.
here. I got you.
Okay, that wasn't Anson.
So
That
that's
was,
not Anson. Okay, got it. Okay. See? Bachi, right?
Wait, so
See
that was
Kristen?
Reese. That was Reese.
See?
That was Reese.
Yeah. Okay. All right, so now I gotta give him what I gave to
Okay,
Kristen. All right, here we go.
Build it up, build it up.
Here we go, all right. Next up,
we
we'll get Intern Supply Processing Distribution.
I feel like
Lot of
I
pressure.
feel like I ruined Reese's
Yeah,
time too.
yeah,
I'm sorry,
sorry.
Reese. Okay.
Sorry, Reese. See,
That,
it's not easy.
okay, now
It's
we're
not
done.
easy.
We're done with the funny moment. Thank
Okay.
you guys. Congratulations.
All right, congratulations. Let's hear it for everyone. Travis Clegg now joining us, Chief Operating Officer of Straub Medical Center with Dave Underwriting. We're going to finish out strong. Bring it on, Straub. Here we go.
All right, we start off with Jaitlin Chang from Intensive Care Unit.
Next, we have Kamakane de Blake from the Ornish program.
Hana Gang from the emergency room.
Jaren Kawamura, Telemetry, MedSurge.
Ian Rafe, excuse me, from Perioperative Services. Ian Rafe.
Yeah, Ian. Max Shermer, Rehab Services.
Next up, Bradson Sarikawa from Neo-Progressive Care Units. Neuro Progressive Care Unit.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. Okay. Selena Shoda, Critical Care Intermediary Unit.
Okay, this one's easy.
Finish out strong. Finish out strong.
Finishing off. Jasmine Stark from Imaging.
I don't know about you, but we keep losing the cool points. They're like, do you guys want to see? Do you want to see my VIP pad? No, I'm just joking. I won't do that to you. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Congratulations. Let's just give them a full round of applause. We haven't been together for a long time, so we can enjoy this together. All right.
And at this time, all of you students, you should be looking over to your parents and say, thank you, parents, for
Thank
guiding you in the right direction and putting you on this path. And none of this happens without them, okay? So how about a round of applause for the parents?
All right. Well, here is something you guys will enjoy. Hopefully this is another nice surprise. Every year, you took a lot of photos, got to enjoy the year. We're going to reflect with some imagery. So if everyone looks at the screen, and we'll plan for that. I'm going to let Deidre get to the screen. So I want to make sure this is captured for you guys. All set? We're rolling and recording. Go! Unfortunately, Steve missed the rim pack full screen, so I was like, what happened to those guys?
You saw these nasty gases.
Not
and they're like,
real wounds,
No.
reenactments for rim pack.
Yeah.
Just making sure we're clear on that.
All right, so before we close out, we just want to say thank you to all the HPH leadership and Ray Vera in particular. Thanks for putting this together. Thanks for taking so much time to lead these students through this. And I guess also thanks to the interns yourselves for pouring yourself into this and really making the most of this opportunity. I mean, healthcare is, there's always going to be a need for that, and we hope you come back home and take care of us, okay?
Yeah. Yes, we should
Yes,
emphasize
yes.
that. Because apparently we're not cool and we will need help very soon. But I want to close out with some of the thoughts that Ray left you because, again, we'll go back to that VIP pass because I thought that was a cool start. It really did mean a lot, and we hope, again, you take from this that behind the scenes and everything you got exposed to, as Ray noted, you can do something with it, whether it's in healthcare or not. You can come back and work at HPH. That's happened before. There are people who are interns who now have careers at HPH. So it's not a stretch. It's up to you. Or you could just tell people in your personal trivia about yourself, once I had VIP access to almost every hospital at Hawaii Pacific Health, and it would be true. And when you do that, though, in that trivia, you also talk about how you were trying to help create a healthier Hawaii, because that really is at the bottom of what you did this summer. So, unfortunately for all of you, Steve, between all the breaks, ate a lot of the food that's on that table. But you said it's good.
They ate
No,
too. Okay,
they didn't
well,
get a chance to eat. So
yeah.
we want to welcome everyone. Parents, take as many pictures as you want. I know that there are some of the leaders at some of the facilities that came to visit you, and thank you personally. And then eat.
Wait, and the
eat.
hashtag
Yeah.
HPH, hashtag HPH summer internship, okay, on
Yeah.
Twitter and Instagram, whatever those things are.
Yeah.
You just post them there, it'd be
Yeah.
great, okay?
And hashtag eat something before you leave. Okay? All right, thank you everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Congratulations.